Good morning. I'm Greg Washington, and we are about to start our training on PatientConnect. Joining me, Yvette Menard, who is a senior consultant with Patients Unlimited, and for many years a champion of the concept of being back in contact with your patients of record. We think that they're the gold mine and they're the future for practices that are moving into success for the year 2012. We can see a lot of things happening that weren't happening before. We've got a broad spectrum of doctors now pursuing discretionary income paid for services, cosmetic medicine. We've got deal sites. Think of Black Friday. You saw the people rushing to the malls and so forth. Well, public is now conditioned to think of a deal. I don't think a deal necessarily is a good thing. We've got review sites that are now influencing who is chosen to deliver services. I'm looking at it as kind of a whisper campaign that we want to be ahead of. Social media. Social media is a buzz, and you want to control that buzz. Internet marketing advances. I'm sure that you're noticing that Google has pop-ups occurring no matter what you decide to look for. It could be a doctor that you know. It could be a doctor that you referred to by a friend. Now they have pop-ups of all alternatives in the areas that you're now searching. Technology alternatives that are less expensive. Not only are they less expensive, the manufacturers and suppliers are branding them, so the public is walking into the offices asking for branded technology. Referral sites. Well, the reality of referral sites is that referral sites are always going to be stronger than any individual doctor's site because they'll have a higher search position and they'll wind up appearing. That's not to say that I'm not aware of the fact that Google has just recently made some rather significant changes in making it more difficult for referral sites to have a dominance. So we want to be very aware of that. And then another important change that has occurred is staff. Many of you have downsized your staff, and more importantly, the marketing team has been the part of the staff that has suffered the most. Well, that's part of the news. What have we really come up with that I think you want to know about? We've discovered something that actually we already knew, but now we have a lot of specific data to substantiate this. Many of you are making the mistake of assuming you know what patients want. Now, that's not an accusation, but we actually have documented proof that clients that have assumed they know what their patients want are actually offering some of the wrong services. There's some other things that we're looking at. Surveys have to be designed to ask intelligent questions that render information and opportunity that you can take advantage of. As an example, a survey begets the opportunity to thank a patient, and in that thank you, encourage and incentivize a revisit. And that revisit is incentivized with a deadline. We've discovered that this communications process will actually generate significant new consultations to a practice. In other words, you're in control of this if we do this correctly. We've discovered that you can produce new patient referrals. You can make deputies out of your patients by asking them smart questions and asking the questions the correct way. This is the biggie. You can provide an income burst, particularly if these are done online. In other words, you will see the results within 1 or 2 weeks. Nothing have we ever done that has worked as fast as doing a well-designed PatientConnect program, including a survey. You can generate very valuable website and social media content and comments that can be posted to Facebook, can be posted to Google+, can be posted, and we're going to talk about that in more detail. There's even more. You can update your email contact database. Well, that was kind of a ho-hum topic until we all of a sudden got the bad news that the post office is probably going to not be the reliable service that we've always thought it to be. And people are relying more and more on email, but email content and email size, that is the size of the list, becomes a very important factor. find hidden problems and issues and anxieties and frustrations that you can actually turn into opportunities. People are sitting back there anguishing or have problems, and Yvette's going to speak to this in a moment. You can protect your brand, and you can improve loyalty.
So the very first question we wanted to talk with our clients about is, really, are we going to get a response? Are patients and prospective patients going to want to complete an online survey? And to our surprise, and to our clients' surprise, we have a very robust response. What you're seeing here on this slide is our response rates. These are the numbers, the percentage, 44.6, 35.9, and 24.4% of 3 surveys we completed over the last 6 months. Excellent response rate. What we found on the 24.4%, that was a client we did the survey in the late summer. I would not recommend we do that again, but an interesting correlation on that is that even though their online response rate was 24.4%, we also recommend sending out a finite number to patients that you don't have email address on, printed survey, and they had a higher response rate on the mailed survey. So you're not seeing the data incorporating online and printed, because we recommend both. You're just seeing online response rate on this slide. The other thing we noticed is that within the first hour or two, we had 40 to 50% of all the responses are in. So what does that tell us? That tells us patients are connected. They're connected via their smartphone, via their tablets, and I don't know, maybe they're just searching for something to do, but we got a very robust response rate. But immediately you get great results. So here are some more actual results. What we are able to do for you is we sort them down by patient name and email. You have uncovered results. I still want to have a neck lift or tummy tuck, but have to wait a little longer. Well, you then call that patient up, and we're going to recommend, and we give you tools with letters to thank, but also a phone call to thank them for their generous comment. And it gives your staff a very targeted message to have a conversation. Well, I got it, Grace, and I understand you still want to do a neck lift. As we mentioned, we discovered more dollars that you can get from the patient of records. I will return the future if I need a procedure. I would really love another procedure. It helped my confidence greatly. Okay, do you do eyelash thinning? Cell number was provided, and this last one again about neck lift or tummy tuck. This is very good data. We advise the practice to hold a staff meeting, review all the data, give the thanks for the great opportunities that are there. So what are we saying from this? We're uncovering dollars from patient of records, and we're uncovering bonus revenue from a variety of ways. One is that we always recommend a survey completion special for the patient and their friend. It does create consultations, say like $250 off your surgery. What we found with that is patients then moved up their booking of their surgery once they figured that they could get the $250, or they didn't cancel. We also have fillers, MediSpa services, bring a friend. The phone rings immediately. We prepare your staff. As soon as that survey goes out, be prepared when we deploy it in your still office hours, to get the phone ringing. Spend the time on the phone to thank them and dialogue with them. Once the patient comes in for their special for completing the survey, you have the opportunity to cross-promote services. We ask